How's it going, guys? Carl here. Today we're going to be doing a table matrix in Power BI. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, we come over here to our visuals, and as we can see, we have table matrix that's called matrix. So we're just going to add this in here, and then we're going to start developing this here. So I'll put it right here. As you can see, you have rows, columns, and values. So if we bring up our data, we can start adding in our data. So I'll bring this up right here. So for rows, I want this to be the regions. So, and then for my columns, I want my columns to be, let's let the product category be the columns. And then for my values, of course, we want the sales. So we'll go here. All right, so now we have a small table matrix. This will be just fine. All right, so basically what's happening here is our rows is our regions, our product categories is our columns. And again, you can flip this if you want your columns to be the region and you want your rows to be your product category. You can do that, or you can just leave it at this. But now you can kind of see a breakdown of what your total sales is for your regions based on the product category. So let's go ahead and start developing this, and I'll just blow this up just a little bit because this is a little bit tinier than everything else. All right, so we'll just come here and do that. All right, so hopefully this helps. Hopefully this helps you. All right, cool. And let me just dial it back just a little bit. So we good. All right, cool. So now we're going to go ahead and format this visual. So again, size and style, I like to just do the border and drop the shadow. And the title is off, but if we want to turn that title on, we can just call this the product categories by the region. All right, we can just put that in the middle. We can change the font to a desired font, and we can also drop this background right here just to let you know that this is definitely the title. And we can come down here. We don't have to add a subtitle. We can add a divider if we want, and we can also increase the spacing if we want to do that as well. Next, we have layout and style presets. As you can see, it's set to default. Feel free to pause the video at any time to explore some of the features that I may not click on, but I'm just keeping it simple here. So we're going to go for minimal, and then you can change the compact layout to something else. So you got tabular, you got outline, so, and you got compact. Excuse me. Again, we have grid. If you want to turn the grid off, you can turn the grid off. If you want to turn the vertical grids on, you can turn the vertical grids on as well. And then here at blank rows, if you want to turn this on, what happens is it gives us these blank rows in between everything. And if you want to turn that off, you can just keep that off. And values, this is just, these are the values in here. If we want to change the font, we can change the font. We can also change the text color in the alternate text. All this is just the first column, well, the first row is the text color, the second row is the alternate. So as you see, if I change this to an alternate, you see the second row and the fourth row will change. All right, so that's how the text color and alternate text colors work. For the column header, again, this is this row here. You can change that font. You can change the font size as well as the color in the background. You can also change the alignment if you want to just put everything in the middle. Excuse me. In our row headers, same thing here. You can change the font. Feel free to pause that to explore that if you want. You have your column subtotals and you have your row subtotals. So just keep in mind, if we wanted to turn this off, well, double click, I guess. There we go. You can turn it off, and then you can turn that off as well. So that'll just give you, it'll give you the values without giving you the totals. But if you want to turn it back on, you can also get the totals both ways, right? So you'll get the Midwest totals, or you'll get the soup totals or product category totals, right? You can also turn on grand total. Well, your grand totals is this, but you can also change the font to it. So let's just say you want to increase the size. You can increase the size or decrease the size. And if you come down here to specific columns, you can change specific columns the sum of cells. Well, as far as specific columns, it's just based on the values column. The values columns was the sum of cells. And we can change the text color as well as the background color if we want to do that, as well as update the display units. Last but not least, we have some cell elements here that we can apply. If we want to apply the cell elements, it can only be applied to the values. So for the sum of cells, let's just say we wanted to change the font color, and instead of the font color doing this little arrangement here, we can just change it to, let's just say red for low end and green for high end, and it'll look something like this. So you'll see the lower the value, the redder the value, and the higher the value, the greener the value. So that is how that works in the table matrix. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes creating a table matrix in Power BI. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.